Hello everyone, Evasion here and welcome back to the video. In today's video, I wanted to share with you how I go about identifying 1v2 opportunities, sharing both a clip from my Mage as well as my DK. Both of my characters are fairly averagely geared. My DK actually just got max level last week, and my Mage, I haven't really been playing that much, but I did play some games and I ended up with a clip that I thought I'd use for this video. Basically, in this video, I want to share with you the specifics of why I am getting these situations, but also the concepts and how you actually go about learning to do this kind of thing. But anyway, without further ado, let's hop into the video. If you enjoy this kind of video, it's a little bit different than the stuff I normally do. Hopefully you learned something and it's fun. If you enjoy it, please be sure to give the video a like. And yeah, let's hop into it. All right, so the first game here, we have a game against Enhance Shaman and Assassination Rogue. And my friend who's on the Priest here had just come back, so his gear's really bad. The chances that he dies to this are extremely high, even if they don't connect properly. Even if I was able to peel, there's still a pretty good chance he's going to go down. So the opener's a little awkward here. You'll see me spam poly from kind of a weird position where the Rogue's able to just keep line of sighting. And so we're pretty much just dying for free. This is not really an ideal situation that I started off in here. You'll see the Rogue is like bouncing on the pillar. You would think nothing's happening here, but he uses Cloak while he's doing this to avoid the things that I did try to do. This is really important because as an Assassination Rogue, you don't have Shadow Step. Your only ways to get on somebody are to use like Sprint, Vanish to break roots, and Cloak of Shadows. But once you don't have Cloak of Shadows, your class becomes very, very, very susceptible to slows and roots, something that obviously Frost Mage really excels at. All right, so this is the place in the game where many people would see the situation and they probably just leave, right? Two targets, one's at 75%, one's at full health. But if you're paying close attention, we actually got everything from both players that we need to win this game. It's not free and it's not going to be easy necessarily, depending on how they play. But the situation is there. During the opener, we got Blind, 2 Vanishes, and Cloak of Shadows out of the Rogue. The Shaman has used his Trinket. So what does this all mean? It basically means we're left with 2 melee who are incredibly immobile and susceptible to slows and roots, something which we have plenty of. So we're going to be looking to have the Shaman go into a full polymorph and get some distance. We want to try and play this at a range further than the Shaman can typically use Wind Shear, which is about 25 yards. So if we're just 30 yards plus, if we can manage to get that kind of range, the Shaman's not going to be able to shock everything we do. And even if he does, we're going to be able to instantly cast the other spell school. So in the case of getting shocked on poly, we're going to instantly be looking to throw out like a rank 1 Frostbolt or something like that. And once we're able to get that distance, the game's pretty much ours, as long as we don't let the Rogue recover or the Shaman, or allow the Shaman to heal the Rogue. Side note, I could have probably optimized my cold snap timing a little bit better here and utilized a double deep freeze. I was prioritizing for double ice barrier though, which definitely helped me get through this little bit of an intro. And we get the Rogue's Trinket here as well. And the Rogue's Trinket, basically the last thing we needed. We get the Cone of Cold slow on him after his Trinket. And so he's no longer going to be able to get towards us like whatsoever. I got shocked initially on a polymorph and then got the poly as soon as I couldn't kick. It was very groundable, but the Shaman, he made the mistake. Just like I said earlier in the video, sometimes they have all the buttons to succeed, but the fact that there's humans on the other side of the screen playing the game means that they can miss opportunities, much like I missed this Blizzard. Although it did accomplish what I wanted to cancel the first aid being used by the Rogue, and that was pretty much what I wanted. Although since I missed, it does create an opportunity for the last situation where I can lose this game, unfortunately. Creates a nuanced situation where I need to cancel block at a random interval to find the Rogue. No Rogue in his right mind can resist the ambush opportunity at hand here, so I just get out of there, spin the camera, and shoot the Nova. So I managed to get away. I blanket silence the Shaman so that he can't kill me. I get hit by a rocket, and I soak it up with the barriers that I have up, and I go for a single tick of Evo here. As soon as I get my tick of Evo, I'm going to be looking to peek out and shoot the engineering rocket at the Rogue before he gets LOS. And if I can get that down to the 1v1, we have distance on the shaman here, and we can start thinking about that. I have my images out still, so they're going to put a couple of trash slows onto the shaman, and it allows me to create some distance. I fat finger Arcane Explosion like a legend, and I get to the pillar here and go for a bandage. I'm going to save my Pet Nova for the shaman until he starts trying to mount up or do anything like that. I get the Nova on him. I get the full bandage. Now he gets some HP. I'm going to use the Deep Freeze from max range. Once again, it would have been a good opportunity to drop grounding right there. Had he dropped grounding, I would have went for rank 1 Frostbolt. As soon as he dedicates Flame Shock to me, I use the Flame Ward. If he showed that he wanted to use Frost Shocks, I would have started using Frost Ward. The reason you do this is because you can potentially gain some mana in a situation where I'm really out of mana. And we managed to get the kill there on the shaman. He goes down. So to recap really quick, I had to identify what my win condition was going to look like. I had to kind of draw a vision of it. I see all of them using their trinkets, both vanishes, Cloak of Shadows. So in this situation, it's, you know, kiting them across the map when they have nothing. You see the pieces of the puzzle fall into place, and then you just try your best to perform it in whatever situation. And sometimes it doesn't work out. Sometimes, you know, you'll make mistakes yourself, and sometimes it'll cost you, and sometimes you'll be able to make some really cool plays that you didn't expect because you allowed yourself to be in such a complex situation. And I feel like this is one of those things that makes Wrath of the Lich King an incredibly interesting game, while also being a very simple game in a sense. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not simple, but it's simple in the sense that the rotations and damage abilities that you hit are pretty straightforward. For a lot of new players, this stuff is incredibly overwhelming. So this video is to hopefully help some of those players, and we're going to hop into one more clip here. This one is on my Death Knight. This clip, in my opinion, is a little bit more obvious, but still maybe a situation where a lot of players might just give up. So for this game, we're actually several minutes into this, and we've gone through, I believe, Innervate and our entire mana bar. We're playing as Balance and Unholy DK in 2s. I started the clip here because we actually get the retaliation out of the warrior. And this is something that actually could have been problematic for me in a 1v2 situation. So that was a really important thing to note that we got out of the way. And so right here, they use Bop, which actually stops the warrior from attacking me. And the reason why I don't leave this game is because the paladin is totally out of mana. So my strategy in this situation is I just want to play defensive. I never want to hit Scourge Strike unless I'm extremely healthy. I'm only going to be Death Striking and trying to wait for my Gargoyle to actually come back. Another thing, since like the Paladin's out of mana, he can't really afford to help on damage. Not that Paladins deal a whole lot of damage in Wrath of the Lich King in the first place. So as long as I keep facing the warrior so that I can parry, the warrior is actually playing incredibly defensive because he's worried about dying, which actually helps me stay alive. And so I managed to make it to my Gargoyle. And now pretty much I have like a reverse win con. DKs are completely notorious in Wrath of the Lich King for doing this because they're really, really tanky, and a lot of their damage comes from damage over times and things that hit through armor that don't really require you to be on the target. And so I managed to get this game because I just stay in it and I play full defensive, wait for Gargoyle, identify that if I made it to my Gargoyle, I was going to be able to put out enough damage to kill this guy through whatever mana the Paladin had left. And in this case, it wasn't very much mana. Well, that's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more video content like this, please be sure to give the video a like, consider sharing this with a friend, and we will see you all in future videos.